Once upon a time, in a lush and enchanted kingdom, the young and beautiful Princess Snow White led a simple life with her loyal animal friends. Her days were filled with adventures amid the dense forest, where she was forever accompanied by her trusted companions, a pair of playful rabbits, Bouncy and Floppy, and a wise old owl, Wizzy. One sunny afternoon, Snow White, as she wandered through the forest, encountered an old and mysterious stranger. The stranger, who introduced himself as Grunk, a guardian of the forest, shared a profound lesson with Snow White about responsibility and the value of money. He presented her with a magical mirror that reflected her true financial worth, and a set of 7 magical apples, each imbued with a unique power. Grunk began his tale of a kingdom called King Thrifty's Realm, where the people had learned to harmoniously coexist with nature, and money was a blessing when used responsibly. As Snow White listened to the stories, she realized that Grunk's lessons could transform her life and the lives of those around her. With the magical mirror and the enchanted apples as her guide, Snow White set off on a journey to find the 7 dwarfs, each an expert in a distinct facet of personal finance. Along the way, she learned the importance of budgeting, saving, investing, and giving back to her community. Snow White encountered the first dwarf, Herman the Provider, in a small village where she learned the significance of health and life insurance. Herman shared important tales of the common people who had suffered due to their lack of foresight and protection. After sharing these stories, Herman introduced Snow White to the concept of compound interest, opening her eyes to the power of long-term investment. As she continued her journey, Snow White met Harvey the Saver, who taught her the art of budgeting and how to create a realistic spending plan. After learning from Harvey, Snow White discovered the power of living below her means and the importance of setting aside funds for a rainy day. Snow White then met Herbert the Budgeter, who showed her how to categorize her expenses and simplify her life. Upon learning this new skill, Snow White felt a sense of freedom and control over her financial future. With the lessons of the dwarfs fresh in her mind, Snow White traveled to meet Horace the Debt Killer, who shared his secrets to getting out of debt and emphasized the importance of living a debt-free life. Horace's wisdom resonated deeply with Snow White, as she recognized the burdens that debt can place on individuals and communities. Snow White's journey next led her to Job the Whole Life Planner, who spoke to her about the importance of retirement planning and the value of setting aside funds for a comfortable and secure retirement. With Job's guidance, Snow White began to plan for her future and the future of her kingdom. The 7th dwarf, Lumpy the Generous Giver, introduced Snow White to the joy of giving back to her community. He shared stories of those who had shared their wealth responsibly and selflessly, and Snow White knew that this was the path she wanted to follow. As Snow White continued her quest, she and Prince Charming, who had been busy building his own financial empire, rediscovered their love for each other. They shared their newfound knowledge of financial responsibility and made a pact to use their wealth responsibly and to teach others the importance of financial wisdom. During their journey, the magical apples began to disappear, symbolizing the importance of teaching others about the value of financial responsibility. The wise old Grunk, who had initially introduced Snow White to the concept of financial responsibility, returned to guide her and her prince on their final leg of the journey. Snow White and Prince Charming found the most important bearer of magical apples, Thrifty the Wise, who shared wisdom about the true meaning of responsibility, self-discipline, and balance in life. Thrifty the Wise taught Snow White and Prince Charming that true wealth comes from personal growth, the happiness of others, and contributing to the greater good. With the wisdom they had gained, Snow White and Prince Charming returned to their kingdom and shared their knowledge with the people, creating a community that valued financial responsibility, moderation, and the importance of sharing their riches with those in need. The story ended with Snow White and Prince Charming living a life of responsibility, happiness, and contentment, as their kingdom thrived thanks to the wisdom they had gained and their commitment to teaching others about the value of financial responsibility. And thus, the tale of Snow White and the 7 responsible magic became a cherished fable in the enchanted forest, inspiring generations to come.